mile away. That is impressive. Look at that. That is a long ways away. So I've got the outdoor wireless bridge here. Pretty nondescript box. I'm going to do a really fast unboxing. I don't think you guys are all here to see how they package this thing up in a box. Adalov wireless bridge. Go ahead and get in here. So of course you get your little manual. Not terrible. Obviously, you know, with a lot of these products from China, you get some odd translations, but quite a bit of material there. It is pretty accurate. I've been through it a number of times. Sorting things out. You get the 2 units here. Pop those out real quick. It is sealed up, so this could be outside and not get destroyed in the weather. I don't know how well this would hold up, this plastic, you know, in the sun. I'm out here in Arizona. Might be a good long-term test to get it out in the heat over a summer, but I won't be doing that during this video. This is more of a quick one. Pop off the cap. I'm sure most of you have seen these. There's a lot of reviews of these similar items floating around. This one claims to be a little higher speed, networking speed, so that's what drew me to that. So we're actually going to be testing that specifically, not internet speeds, but LAN speeds. But you get one. Each one can be selected between the master and the slave with a little toggle switch in here. You got a DC jack that you can power it directly off 12 volts. There's a little button here that switches it between the various channels that it's available. It does have 1 gigabit and / power over Ethernet port and 100 megabit port. So both of them are the same. You just select which one you want master and which one you want to be slave. Of course, you got 2 of those. And then in the box, you get a couple of accessories. You get some pipe clamps. So you see this thing mounts to a round pipe. And then you could use a big zip tie or these pipe clamps. You can wrap it around there to hold it to the pipe. So you get 2 of those. You get 2 PoE adapters. PoE and LAN, that goes to your network. That goes to the power over Ethernet that feeds the bridge. And this is a 24 volt half amp PoE adapter. You get 2 of those, and you get a couple of short Ethernet cables. These are like 3 foot long, I think. But that's the box. Not much to that. My test setup for what I'm going to be doing is I got these 2 laptops. These are both gigabit capable. They're Ethernet cards on them. So I'm going to set up the Asus here as with open speed test. It's similar to your speedtest.net website that you go to check your internet speeds. But I'm not really all that interested in internet speeds. I'm interested in LAN speeds. So I'm setting this up as a server to do a LAN speed test. And then from the Lenovo here, I'll be able to do a speed checks through the network back to the server on the Asus, and that'll tell us what our LAN speeds are. So I've already validated that these 2 have gigabit speeds. I've connected these 2 directly to each other with an Ethernet cable, not going through any router, switch, nothing, just so I can validate that both of these network cards are gigabit capable. So when these are plugged directly into each other and I do a speed test one to the next, I do get upwards of 900 to 1,000 megabit per second speeds. Talking to that open speed test. Then we're going to do that through the wireless bridge and compare the LAN speeds. I'm expecting upwards of somewhere between 200 to 400 megabit per second. Their initial literature when they approached me on this did report up to 900 megabit per second communication between the 2 bridges. I was curious about that, so my initial testing was all done basically trying to validate that. I had a lot of emails back and forth with them because I didn't want to advertise something that wasn't meeting specification. So after a lot of communication and testing, it was confirmed that they do communicate between each other at that high speed, up to gigabit speeds, but your expected LAN speeds are not quite up to that. You can get up to upwards of about 400, 433, I think it was the spec. I did find in the manual it actually had that, but there was some contradiction in some of their literature. So even though you got a gigabit port, you will probably not see gigabit speeds through the LAN. But that was one thing I wanted to find out about, because most of these that I've seen out there, that I've seen the ton of reviews, they're almost all 100 megabit units, and I'd see people basically just checking their internet speeds. What I want to know is, number one, what is the LAN speed limit? because my internet speed's not ever going to be as fast as my LAN speed. I've got Starlink. You know, best I've seen is upwards of about 300, but anymore you don't. I get maybe 100 most of the time, 200 sometimes if I'm lucky. But I'm not really interested in internet speeds. If I can get good LAN speeds, then I know my internet speed's going to be somewhere below that. And then the second thing, and maybe the more important thing, is all these wireless bridges claim to go up to 3 to 5 kilometers. I want to do some. I've got some good flat area out here. I'm out in the desert. It is a little tricky. I've been trying to figure out the logistics of doing some long-range testing. I've got a spot that I think is about between 4,000 and 5,000 feet away. I'm going to get as far away as I can. Remains to be seen if I can get that far away as I'm recording this. I haven't done the long-range test yet. I have done a whole lot of tests, you know, close proximity, just to verify that they function and get my questions answered from the manufacturer, because there was a little bit of discrepancy in their advertising. So I wanted to make sure that's clear on that. There's my test setup. I'm going to get this set up and outside. We'll do a quick short range test just to show you how it works. Then I'm going to go a little long distance away and do that 4,000 foot test if I can get a good line of sight going for that one. All right, let's take a look at the test setup here. Here's my mobile station. I've got the slave unit on a tripod. I can put it up on the roof. I run in. I've got a pure sine wave inverter that's powering the PoE adapter and my laptop. This is the laptop that'll be running the test. The other laptop has the server on it. So here's the mobile station. I'll be able to drive this. I think, I can't really see it from here, but it's going to be way over there somewhere, about 4,000 feet away, just under a mile. And then I've got on the basketball hoop, I have the master unit as high as I could get it without any significant complication. I would say that's a regular basketball hoop at highest height, so that's probably, I don't know, 15 feet high or so. Ethernet cable coming down. I've got the open speed test server running on this laptop. This is on Linux. And then of course I got the PoE adapter that's connected to the laptop, and then of course that goes up to the bridge. So that can just run. We'll come over here. Let's do, just being this far away, let's do a quick test here as a baseline. I'll have this overlaid, a little over 300 megabit per second. And this is LAN speed. Keep in mind, this is not internet speed. I don't even have it hooked up to the internet. This is just totally closed circuit LAN between these two computers through the bridge. So on that test I did 320 megabit down, 363 upload. I'll get into a lot more in depth after we do this long range test, because that's kind of my high priority. I'll get this test done. In the initial setup and discussions with the manufacturer, I went through I think there's 10 different channels that you can set the master and the slave to. I went through each channel, and I surprisingly did get a pretty significant difference in speeds through the different channels. The different channels did make a difference. I found I got the best speed in the house, inside the house, on channel 7. So I've got it left on channel 7, I think. Okay, so I'm going to go drive to my remote location. We'll see if we can get a connection, number one, and then if we do, we'll compare the speeds to what I just got, 20 feet apart. So stand by, we'll go to the remote location. Well, I got 3 bars. I'm only missing 1 dot, so it looks like I got a connection. We'll get on the Google Maps a little bit later and get the exact distance, but just so you can tell where I'm at in relation to my house. Let's see if I can, kind of hard to see. Oops. That's as far as I can zoom in. See if I can hold it still enough. I believe, we'll see later when I put it on the computer, but I think you can see my red barn. And And then to the left of that, I think you can probably see the wireless bridge and then my house. So that's how far away I am. We'll zoom out now. So that's how far away we are. Let's see what we got here. Let's start recording that. Let's see if I've still got a connection. I'll do a refresh. And I do. Nice. So we are connected. Start our speed test. Nice. So we are probably a little over 3/4 of a mile away from my house, and we're getting 300 megabit per second transfer speeds. That's really cool. Almost just as fast as it was sitting in the driveway. Now I want to get farther away to see if it really will do the... I mean, based on this, at almost a mile away, I'm pretty confident that it could do what it claims to go, you know, 3 to 5 kilometers away. Trying to think of where else I can go. I guess I could just go down the street, even if it's not totally line of sight, and see if I can get any kind of a signal. Let's try that. So check this out. I just drove, okay, so just a minute ago, I was, there you go, you see that stop sign in that yellow. I was sitting right over there, just right about there, on the side of that road, just above that little tractor that's driving around. So I was sitting right over there. I just drove further away, this much further, on this little hill, and I decided, what the heck? I left the wireless bridge inside the car. Okay, so I'm actually pointing the thing at the side of my rig here. I got full bars. All the lights are on. And I just did a speed test. And I got 127, 124 megabit per second inside my car. And I think this is over a mile away. Let me see if I can get a measurement. It's exactly 1 mile away. That is really cool. Okay, so 1 mile away. Now I'm gonna get this thing out. I think I'll just set it on the ground and see what kind of, once I get it out of the car. Okay, I'll put it outside. So they got full signal. Start. Oh, I didn't do my start recording. It was a little slower. Only get 160 down. All right, let's throw it back up on the roof and see if we can get those speeds back. Got it back up on top of the car. Refresh that before the wind blows that off. Huh. That don't seem to be making much difference on top. But that extra, 500 feet or 1,000 feet or whatever that was coming this far definitely made a difference. But still, that speed is faster than my internet speed usually is. Oh, and I'm up back over 200 on it now, on the upload. So if I had that hooked up to my internet, I could get my normal internet speeds through the LAN. That is crazy awesome. That is super cool. That would be interesting to try different channels, but I don't have anybody back at the house to change channels on the thing. Plus it's 15 feet up in the air. This is really fast for a mile away. That's cool. Then do another one. Nice. 160 and 172. I'm actually surprised. I really didn't think I was going to get these kind of speeds a mile away. Do it again. I mean, that mountain over there, just at the base of that, is where I live. See if I can get it steady enough shot to analyze it once I get it downloaded. But somewhere in there might be maybe that little white dot could be the the wireless bridge, but I can't see my barn. Maybe this the top edge of it. Nevertheless, a mile away, that is impressive. Look at that. That is a long ways away to get pretty steady, you know, 100, 150 megabit per second download speeds. Just for fun, I'm going to do another one, but I've proven the point. This thing definitely has the range, and it's got decent speeds at that range. Now, playing with the channels and some of that stuff, you know, probably could get the speed up. Definitely, I think I could get the speed up closer. I mean, we're a long ways away, but might be able to approach on that 300-400 megabit per second at some range. Even though the LAN connection is gigabit, I've never been able to get anywhere near that, even, you know, in the same room together with these things. I've gotten over 300, but and I have had conversations with them, and they've edited their advertising to be a little more consistently. I got over 200 on that time upload, so they've corrected their terminology on that, because they're you know, the communication speed between the two bridges is much faster. I'm actually gonna let me log into this thing, and it'll just show. We can actually see what the. Let me connect Wi-Fi to it. See if I can do that, because these bridges have Wi-Fi hotspot built into each one of them, so I can actually connect into it. This one is this 276. I think it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 I think is the default. See if that gets me in. That's the one I want. Okay, so now the IP address for those, actually for like the hub is 169.254.254.254. There we go. So I can see that. I'm on the client here, but I can actually look at either one. Oh, it just swapped. So let me look at the client. Seems as good a time as any. Admin is the username and password. So we can actually look at the connection speed. Yeah, so what you can see here, we got receive rate 780 megabits per second and transmit rate 325. So that's what they're talking about when they say gigabit or up to 900. There's one value that they're talking about that's up to 900. Talking between the two bridges, they communicate pretty rapidly, but you don't get that kind of transfer rate with your data over the LAN. So that was where the little misinterpretation was, I think, on their advertising, and they've corrected that to change it to 430. You might still see gigabit mentioned and 900 megabit per second, but just note that that's the communication rate between the two on how they talk to each other, but you won't necessarily see that on your data transfers. Knowing that and having that conversation with them doesn't discourage me from this product. That's pretty impressive to get that kind of range. All right. So I'm going to wrap it up here for the mobile test. I'm convinced this thing will get great range. If I'm still getting that kind of speed a mile away, I bet I could go another half a mile. But, you know, I don't know. If I had a way to get up on top of one of these mountains over here, I bet I could get a great signal and go even further. But if you're just looking to go from your house to a garage or a barn or something, this will easily get that kind of range and give you really good signal. So would not be concerned about the range. I'm just really excited. This is cool. All right. I'm going to wrap it up. I'm just quitting jabbering. I'm just geeking out over this. This is fun stuff. So I mentioned earlier that I'd gone through all the different channels. There's 10 different channels on the units, and you've got to match them up. There's a push button on the two bridge modules, and you push that button, and on the back side of it, there's a LED with a 0 through 9. I just wanted to go over what speeds I got. You know, less than ideal conditions, just sitting on my countertop about 5 feet apart. Clearly slower than what I get when it's out in the open with, you know, up in the air. Because I even just did a couple of tests where I lifted the thing up into the air above the countertop, and I got faster speeds. So anyway, just take that into consideration. But so here's what I got when I went through the different channels. I got, here's channel 0. Go to channel 2. And I got this kind of speed, 212, 71, just some kind of jumping all over the place on these lower channels. Channel 3 only got 120s. Channel 4, you know, pretty similar. Channel 5 was pretty bad.
Channel 6 started to speed up. The higher channels, I get better speeds. And then channel 7 was the one I got the most consistent higher readings from close range. And then 8. And then 9 was pretty good too. But so you can see that's why I went with channel 7. So in conclusion, Adalov did approach me. They asked me to review this for a video. I don't always accept invitations to do that. I look at the product and I look at the other videos that have already been posted out there in the YouTube and see what kind of reviews they get. This one was fascinating. It had a little longer range than some and higher speeds than some. The land speed was what impressed me as their claims. I don't know that they were expecting me to analyze it so precisely, because I really questioned them on the speeds, and then when it didn't give me the speeds that they had published, I questioned them on it. So they did edit that. If you see here now, it says output up to 433 megabit per second. That's really what their claim is, I believe. Initially, it was talking about up to 900. I see that there's still some mention of that, but as I said earlier in the video, that I believe that relates to the bridge-to-bridge speed that they're communicating at, and I showed that in the interface. You can see that's how fast they're talking. So, would I recommend this? Yeah, I would. If you need something to get your internet out to a barn or a garage or another building at quite a distance. I mean, most people don't need to go a mile away or more, but as I demonstrated in my long-range test, I could send my internet up to that house that was, by that lot I was sitting at. That's a mile away, and it would be totally usable. So this is pretty impressive. I'll put a link to this below in the description. I do have an affiliate link. They didn't pay me to do this review. They just sent me the product, and I actually think I got to send it back when I'm done with it. But it's pretty impressive. So any questions, leave them in the comments below. I didn't really delve deep into the interface and how to get in and out of there. There's plenty of those that I've saw on YouTube on navigating that. It's in the manual. It's not complicated. You can use this as the bridge. You can also use it as a access point for your internet. You can set them up for static IP addresses. As it is right now, they use an API-PA or an automatic IP address is what they use right now. So they've got that odd 169.254.254.254 gets you to the interface that shows you both of them. And then each one does have its own specific IP address that you can navigate to from that little portal. Pretty neat devices. Definitely sold me. I was a little reluctant, and I definitely drilled them hard. I didn't make it easy on them, so they definitely had to answer my questions before I was willing to make a video on it. But I'm impressed. So I don't think you'll be disappointed with this if you pick one up or pick up a set. And if you do, please use our affiliate link below, and I would appreciate it. Any questions on the interface, let me know, and I'm sure I can help answer questions. And they were really responsive for me when I asked them a lot of questions. So I'm sure that they would support the product well. So take care. Thanks for watching the video, and I appreciate it.